back to my channel. If you're new here, this is Megan Daphne Living, where I share home decor, DIY, creative inspiration so that you can turn your house into a home you love. Today, I'm sharing not one, not two, but 3 kitchen renovations that I have done over the last couple of years, where I've worked with the existing cabinets by painting them. I'm going to show you each kitchen, all slightly different styles and designs, but ultimately we're working with the existing cabinets, putting fresh countertops, maybe backsplash, sink, faucet, and things. First one was a $1,600 Canadian transformation. The second one was under $1,800, and the third one was just under $3,000. A little bit more went into that one, but again, our biggest savings came from working with the cabinets that we have. So if you're on the fence thinking about painting your kitchen, you're unsure how it's going to look when it's done, you don't want brush stroke marks, you're worried it's not going to have a professional finish, this video is for you. You need to see a wild transformation. Originally, when we bought this house, we had planned to gut the whole kitchen, but we recently decided we were going to work with what we have and fix it up. The old hardware was very rusty and needed to be replaced, and the countertops, well, they were like tile floor. We prepped our countertops with TSP Alternative by Fusion and then painted the bottom half of our cupboards with Eucalyptus by Fusion. And we used Victorian lace for our top cupboards. I'm obsessed with our new hardware from Amazon. We measured and cut our countertops and had our good friend come over and level them for us. I'm obsessed with the end result. It's hard to believe it's the same kitchen. This transformation cost us no more than $1,600. A full breakdown on the products and costs that we used for this renovation are in the caption. Okay, I've gotten so many questions about these countertops, so I'm going to make a quick video providing a bit more information on them. So these are actually not butcher block, they're called veneer oak from IKEA. We paid a total of $500 for them. It's essentially real wood sandwiched with MDF in between. There's also this oil that IKEA recommends you buy with them, and you are to oil these every month to keep them in good standing. We only oiled them when we first got them, and then we never kept up with it just out of pure laziness, and 1 year later they were completely fine. If you're looking for a quick, easy, and cheap new countertop, these are definitely a great option. Okay, next up is a kitchen from our basement unit in one of our rental properties. These cabinets are original from the 70s. They're dark pine. They were very dirty, a little bit beat up, but we wanted to work with what we had for a more budget-friendly renovation. So this next video is going to show you what we did with this kitchen. We kept everything gray just because it is a rental. We didn't want to go white, but we wanted to keep things kind of neutral and easy to keep clean. Let's give this kitchen a huge facelift. We're going to be painting it with Fusion mineral paint. Okay, let's jump right in. First, we're going to prep all the cupboards with TSP Alternative by Fusion, and then give everything a light scuff with 220 grit sandpaper. All you need is 2 capfuls of this stuff mixed with water to wipe down the cupboards. This will remove all the dirt and grime before sanding. Oh, and this thing, it had to go. Because we're working with dark pine, we're going to prime everything with this primer. It's very stinky, very sticky, but works very well. Given these cupboards are 30 years old, there was a lot of dirt and grime that just would not come off, so the primer and paint is really going to help cover this all up. If you've been following along on my stories, you saw some votes for paint colors, and we chose cobblestone, a really nice light gray that's going to go well in this dark basement kitchen. To avoid paintbrush strokes, it's best to do more layers that are light. You don't want to press too hard with your brush, and you need to move fast with this product. For high traffic areas, using a tough coat is key. I like to sandwich it in between my coats so you can't see it. This applicator by Fusion also works great to apply it. Okay, last but not least is our current kitchen, this kitchen that I'm in right now. It's the home that we live in. It's actually the upstairs unit to the last kitchen that you just saw. And so this kitchen's a little bit different. It was cabinets that were painted about 10 years ago. They were chipping, the paint was starting to chip in certain places and they were just kind of dirty and grimy and a little beat up. So we did a little bit of a different prep for these ones, but ultimately we painted over them and they look fresh and amazing. We also installed a backsplash the first time doing tiling. So that was an additional expense compared to the other two, but was very needed as it was a peel and stick. You'll see in the next video.
Let's recap where we're at with this kitchen renovation. Here's the kitchen before. It was painted about 10 years ago. It's starting to chip, not really the vibe. So my plan is to paint the cabinets, replace the countertop, sink, faucet, remove the peel and stick backsplash, put up tile, install new hardware, hidden hinges, and we're removing a section of the cabinets to put up floating shelves. Phew! So we started by removing the doors, hardware, and hinges and giving the doors a really good clean and filling in some of the holes as I'm going with knobs on the top, and the handles for the bottom don't line up with the existing holes, so I had to use wood filler to fill those in. Once that was dry, I went over everything with 120 grit, then 220 grit sandpaper. Some parts needed a second coat as well. The inside of these cabinets hadn't been painted, so I did 2 coats of bin primer to ensure the knots do not bleed through, followed by 2 coats of Sherwin-Williams cabinet paint. This part sucked, I'm not gonna lie. I'm filling in the holes on these drawers. Unfortunately, these cabinets are really old, so the holes aren't spaced for your most standard hardware. Once filled, I sanded, spot prime with bin primer, then finally time to paint. I started off with Taupe of the Morning by Sherwin-Williams, but ended up not liking it. It was too much of a light gray for me, so I got Accessible Beige by Sherwin-Williams, and I love the color. I've got the base of the cabinets painted, the drawers painted, with the new hardware installed. I highly recommend this template tool. It makes it incredibly easy to install new hardware on drawers and doors. And now I'm working on painting the doors. I started off by using my paint sprayer, but I have since switched to rolling. I'll tell you why in my next update, so stay tuned. Here is part 2 of this kitchen renovation. If you missed part 1, head on over to my page. Here's a reminder of what we are working with. I started to paint the cabinet doors with a paint sprayer, but I didn't have a very good one, and I also didn't have a great setup. I realized this was going to take a lot of time as I could only do a couple doors at a time, so I opted to brush and roll. I still have a beautiful finish. This is my 3rd kitchen I painted this way, so I knew this method would work well for me. We replaced this boob light. Thankfully, it matches our dining room light fixtures, so I felt this went well with our space. I wanted to upgrade the hinges to hidden hinges for this kitchen, and this template was a must-have. You attach it to your door, drill the holes for the screws, and attach this piece to your drill so you have a perfect hole for the base for the hinges to sit in. This was a foolproof method with this template. See the caption for more details on it. Next up was installing our Explore hardware, which I love so much. They're so modern, sophisticated, and the quality, guys, is truly unmatched. Like, look how beautiful these are. I went with these knobs for the doors and these stunning pulls for the drawers. Already this kitchen is looking so much better with a little paint, new hardware, and time. There's no denying this type of project takes time, but the results and cost savings are so worth it. Stay tuned for part 3. Here is part 3 of kitchen flip number 3, where I don't rip out my cabinets. So here's a reminder of where we started. This phase of the kitchen was countertop, sink, faucet, shelves, and backsplash, so let's get into it. We had our good friend come over to help us out and teach us how to tile. If you want to hire this out and you are local, Cam is your guy. So first we installed the new laminate countertops and cut out the hole for the new sink. Then we installed the floating shelves. This laser level is amazing. It made the install so much easier. Once they were secure, it was time to tile. We started by taping off the countertops with brown wrapping paper and lining the edges with the cardboard for the first row of tiles to rest on. We really worked as a team as this tiling job took a long time. It required a lot of cuts due to the placement of the shelves. This really was not as challenging as I thought it would be. It just took time, so with good friends, some drinks, and tips and tricks from Cam, it made it into a fun weekend. Because these tiles were super small, we used a ton of spacers. Grouting was also an easy step, just super messy. We went with warm gray for our grout color, and I'm so pleased with how it turned out. It really brings out the gray in the tile and the countertops. Then it was time to install the sink and faucet. This literally was a full weekend of work, but the results are so worth it. Like, look how beautiful it turned out. I still have some loose ends to tie up, and new flooring is going to go down this weekend, but I am so happy with the results. Let me know in the comments how much you think this renovation cost. And check out my caption for details on all the products used. A detailed blog post is coming soon, so subscribe to my email list so you're the first to know. This is once again proof that you do not need to rip out your entire kitchen to get beautiful results. Our biggest cost savings on this kitchen is working with the cabinets that we already have.
So if you're thinking about painting your kitchen cabinets, but you're unsure where to start, you don't even know if you're painting over wood, MDF, veneer, what does the prep look like depending on what your cabinets are? How do we ensure that we have a long lasting finish? I've got an ebook for you that covers everything off from everything that I've learned over the last 3 kitchens so that you don't have to make the mistakes that I've made. I've got the full details listed in the caption below. And if you like what you saw and you want more videos around home decor, DIY, and inspiration, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like this video. If you enjoyed what you see, I've got another video that I will also link for you on my recent small entryway makeover. I took a very boring, dull entryway that doesn't have a lot of space and turned it into something really beautiful on a really small budget. And also, it's more functional now. So check out that video as well.